Hey everyone, my name is Wiz and welcome to another poorly edited video. Today I'm showing off a really cool Titan build I've come up with. As I'm sure you've noticed in the thumbnail, this build revolves around Gjallarhorn, but it uses some cool exotic armor and elemental well synergy. Before I go over the build itself, let's take a walk down memory lane at this past year of Destiny and look at previous seasonal metas and set up why I think this build in particular has a chance to be very strong next season. So, Season 13, Season of the Chosen, offered the Salvager's Salvo grenade launcher as their ritual weapon for that season. Skipping ahead, Season 14, Season of the Splicer, had an artifact mod called Breach and Clear, where dealing damage with a grenade launcher weakened that target to take bonus damage from all sources. So, Salvager Salvo was a great weapon to use with that artifact mod. Also in Season 14, they offered the ritual weapon Null Composure, the fusion rifle. Season 15, Season of the Lost, the current season, has the artifact mod Particle Deconstruction, where dealing damage to a target with a fusion or linear fusion rifle weakens that target to take extra weapon damage dealt by fusion or linear fusion rifles. So Null Composure is a great weapon to use this season. Do you see the trend so far? Lastly, Season 15 currently offers the Ascendancy rocket launcher as a ritual weapon for this season. So, if this pattern continues on to Season 16, the next seasonal artifact could have some powerful mods geared towards rocket launcher use. With that in mind, I wanted to make a fun rocket launcher build that is not only fun in solo play, but allows other players to benefit from it as well. That is where Gjallarhorn comes into play. Part of Gjallarhorn's special perk is that it allows players using non-exotic rocket launchers to have wolf backgrounds, so this build has teammates in mind as well. Even if next season does not have any crazy rocket launcher artifact mods, this build is still very good and very fun. I've also made this build to work in any season, so you don't have to worry about having seasonal mods that will be going away. This build is here to stay. With all that being said, let's go over the build itself and see it in action. So here's my Titan. I'm using a solar subclass. I'm using bottom tree. The tree itself does not actually matter. Any one of these trees will still work for this build. I just have been using bottom tree for this. My primary weapon here is the Borrowed Time Solar SMG with Demolitionist. The fact that it's solar and the fact that it has demo feeds into the synergy very well, and you'll see why shortly. And then my heavy, I have Gjallarhorn. The exotic I'm using is the Path of the Burning Steps. These exotic boots allow solar final blows, improve weapon damage. And that could be solar final blows from any source. It could be from weapons, it could be from abilities. Solar final blows of any source will increase weapon damage. And the fact that I'm running all solar just helps me feed into this perk a bit easier. And this benefit stacks up to ×4. So the more solar final blows I'm getting, the better off I am. So let's look at the actual mod selection I have here. On my helmet, I have Ashes to Assets, so I get bonus super energy on grenade kills. And Font of Might, picking up an elemental well that matches your subclass type, grants a temporary bonus to weapon damage of the same element type. So the fact that I'm running a solar elemental subclass, I'm creating solar elemental wells, and I have 2 different solar weapons, so everything is solar for that reason. I'm getting the most bang for my buck here. On my gauntlets, rocket launcher loader just increases the amount of total DPS I can do with rockets, and bountiful wells, elemental wads that you create now multiply. Basically, for every elemental well that I create, I'm getting an additional one, so that's just more elemental wells for me. On my chest piece, I have rocket launcher reserves as well as elemental time dilation. So elemental well mods that grant you time limited benefits. So in this case, Font of Might, which by default lasts for 10 seconds. This mod allows that to increase the duration of the effect. So it increases from 10 seconds up to 13, which isn't a huge bump up, but that's another rocket or 2 I could potentially benefit from. Then on the boots, I have Elemental Ordnance. Defeating a combatant with a grenade spawns an elemental well. So again, having grenade use and having Demolitionist goes well together. And also have double bomber. Using my class ability, reduce the grenade cooldown, again, feeding my grenade energy. And then Elemental Light, defeating a combatant with your super spawns an Elemental Well. So I have lots of ways to make Elemental Wells and lots of benefit from them. So now that you've seen the build and the mods being used, let's take a look at some clips showing different scenarios and the total damage capabilities of the build. So I am doing this test on Riven. While she's not the best boss to use rockets on, this is just the easiest way for me to show the build at its fullest potential. This is just an easy way for me to calculate all the percentages that are involved with the damage numbers. So first, let's look at Gjallarhorn with no buffs or debuffs active. This is strictly Gjallarhorn damage. So you can see here, I'm dealing 22,784. This is going to be our baseline. Again, this is strictly Gjallarhorn damage, no other buffs or debuffs at play. And I'm strictly going off of impact damage. I'm not going to calculate all the little Wolfpack rounds because the percentages are going to stay the same. The damage for the Wolfpack rounds will increase by the same percentage. So I'm just using the impact damage, as the baseline for everything. So let's look at Gjallarhorn with Firewalker ×4. This is the perk I get from my exotic boots. So you can see I have Firewalker ×4 active over here. All right, so with Firewalker ×4, I'm dealing 30,759 total damage here. So now let's look at what Font of Might, the Elemental Well mod, can get me. You can see I have Solar Weapon boost active. That is my Font of Might boost. I'm dealing 28,480. So it's not quite as much as what Firewalker was able to give me, but fortunately these two stack. So let's see what they look like together. So you can see I have Firewalker ×4 active. I have Solar Weapon boost active. So now I'm dealing a total of 38,448 damage. That's a nice little increase. So from our initial baseline of 22,784 up to now 38,448, that is a 69% damage increase. Nice, am I right? As a side note, I did mess around with the Argent Ordnance Charged with Light mod. Unfortunately, it does not stack with Font of Might. And Font of Might provides a stronger benefit than Argent Ordnance does, so it is not included in this build for that reason. Now, let's throw some other factors into the mix here. Let's take everything we have now and add a Titan Bubble and see what that can get us. So as you can see, I have Weapons of Light active, I have Firewalker ×4 active, and I have Solar Weapon boost active. So it's kind of hard to see here, but I'm dealing 38,448, so that actually remains unchanged. So Weapons of Light does not actually stack with Font of Might, which is unfortunate, but these have all been strictly buffs so far. What if we added a debuff into the mix? So let's take what we have, Gjallarhorn with Firewalker ×4 and Font of Might, and let's add a Tractor Cannon to see what we can get. So now I'm up to 49,983 damage. So from our initial baseline of 22,784 up to now 49,983, that is nearly a 120% damage increase. So that is more than double our initial damage that we were doing, which is pretty insane. But this is with me running Gjallarhorn. What if we had a legendary rocket launcher with some additional damage perks, such as the one offered this season, Ascendancy? Taking advantage of the perk Explosive Light, where picking up an orb increases the damage of the next projectile. And since Ascendancy is a legendary, I can put a mod into it. I can put in Boss Spec, just furthering the damage I am doing. And Ascendancy has impact casing, or increasing the damage on direct hits. So I have a lot more going for me here, potentially. So let's look at Ascendancy combining everything we have here. We have Explosive Light, we have Boss Spec, and we have Impact Casing from Ascendancy, combining that with our Firewalker, and with our Font of Might, and with Tractor Cannon. $67,332 total impact damage. So from our initial baseline of 22,784 up to 67,332, that is an additional 44,548 damage. That is slightly over a 195% bonus damage per shot. That's almost 3 times the amount of damage that we initially started with. Absolutely insane. So that is the insane Titan rocket launcher build I've cooked up for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to try this build for yourself and let me know what you think. I want to give a special thank you to a few people that helped make this video possible. Massive thank you to my friends Noah, Brandon Salsa, and my man Clegg. This video would not have been possible without you guys. Also, go check out Brandon Salsa's YouTube channel. He has some really fun Destiny content on there as well. The dude is a cracked player and has some awesome content, so be sure to check him out. The link to his channel will be in the description. But most of all, thank you for watching today. Feel free to follow me on Twitter. I'm very active on there. I also stream on Twitch from time to time, so feel free to stop by anytime I am live. Links for those will be in the description as well. Of course, likes and subs are always appreciated. I hope you all stay safe and have a wonderful day.